Um, yeah, Warren. What I want to talk to you about today is about your views on healthcare, NHS, and doctors and sickness here in England.
Yeah.
What's your general view on it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is, a lot of people have so much confidence in the medical system. And the medical system, there's two approaches. We're going to talk about the medical system first, but there's two approaches overall to health. There's the holistic approach and the alternative field. I kind of separate the alternative and holistic because not all of the time the
What do you mean
alternative.
alternative?
Alternative is like acupuncture, sports massage, pedicures, reflexology,
Okay, yeah.
chiropractors. That's the alternative field, but it's not always 100% holistic. The holistic field is more integrating everything together. So,
Okay.
well, we'll get to it in a bit. And then the medical field is known as the allopathic method. Now, the main difference between the two is you've got a treatment model and a coaching model. We'll get into the coaching model in a bit because the coaching model is more of a holistic sort of approach. The treatment model is the problem.
So basically, you're saying going to a doctor for treatment is a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem because you go to your general practitioner GP, and it's like a conveyor belt. Like you sit there, there's like 60 people in a queue. You might wait 4 hours to see someone, and then you see them, and you see them for how long? Like 2, 3 minutes?
I was actually with my doctor for 4.5 minutes, and to be fair, she wasn't the healthiest. Not,
Yeah,
I mean, she might have had knowledge, but I think she needs to see a doctor.
yeah. I mean, the thing is statistically, doctors die on average 10 years before their client. So you're not even going to someone who's healthier than you. So it's like the first thing is, you want to make sure that if someone can help you, that they're at least healthy and actually applying some of the principles they're getting you to apply. But that's not the medical system's approach. So you wait 4 hours in your GP's room. You see them for 4 minutes.
And yep, she asked ABC questions, and I got my prescription, and I was
Yeah,
out of there.
yeah, and the thing is, that's just standard. That's a conveyor belt. You go in there with a broke toe. You go in there with acne. You go in there with eczema. You go in there with whatever,
You go
and
in
you're
there
coming
with
out with drugs.
the guy in there on fire, and you're still they're gonna give you the prescription.
Yeah, no matter
They're like,
what.
hey, we ain't got no water.
Yeah, and the thing is most of the time they've already decided what they're going to give you before you even get in there and come out anyway. It's always antibiotics or or painkillers.
And I've asked my doctor. I've had previous problems, and I've asked her, okay, so what caused this? And she looked at me. She gave me a list of about 25 different things that could have caused this, and I said to her, okay, so well, how do I prevent this next time? I don't enjoy coming to see you. Not I don't like you as a person, but
Mm.
I've got a lot better things to do with my time.
Yeah.
And she froze for a minute.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I've had this story a million times. I had one of my associates who's training up to be a trainer as well. He had his mother. He took his mother to the doctors, and she's got diabetes. And they went to the doctors. She had to stay there 4 hours, and then they got her to see the clinical nutritionist that was there. No disrespect to clinical nutritionists, but having waited 4 hours, she saw this woman for 5 minutes, and the other 5 minutes was the woman went off to go and get a little information sheet. I'm saying the sheet was 1 page, and it just said general rules on eat, avoid fat, and drink more water. She could have looked that up online. She waited 4 hours to get a piece of paper from a clinical nutritionist and said, "Come back and see me in 4 months." And my friend, who hasn't spent lots of time with me, knows enough about nutrition to know that's not good enough. And he was vexed. He was like, "What? We waited 4 hours just for you to give us a sheet? You haven't assessed her. You haven't asked her any questions about her health, her lifestyle, her background, any of that sort of stuff." So they walked out deluded, and that's the problem with the medical system. There's not enough money in it. Yeah, definitely, that's definitely a problem. But the reason why the medical system is broke is because they're focusing on the treatment. They're focusing on the quick fix, and they're focusing on giving people drugs because it's a well-known fact, regardless of how this is going to sound. Well-known fact: the pharmaceutical profession funds the medical profession. They give their money to the medical profession in the support for their drugs. So the onus is on medical doctors and GPs to give out drugs, because if they don't give out drugs to their clients and they say, right, let's just work on your lifestyle and such, the pharmaceutical profession won't sell their drugs. So who fronts the drugs? Think about it, people. who fronts the selling of drugs? It can only be doctors, because if in order for you to go to the chemist in the first place, most of the time, unless it's like, you get an Anadin or something, you're getting a prescription drug. So who prescribed it? The doctor. So isn't it in the doctor's best interest to get you to take the drugs? And isn't in the pharmaceutical profession's best interest to give the doctors an incentive to give you drugs in the first place? That's the problem. Because what happens is every drug, whether it's over the counter or prescription, has side effects. Every drug has side effects. And it even says it on the packaging. So if it has a side effect, if you go in there, you go in there for a prescription for a headache, 6 months down the line taking the tablets, you may have a dietary problem, you may have a digestive problem, you may have bloating. And I know this through people that my family that are close to me that took one drug and then eventually they had digestive problems, so they had to take another drug for the digestive problem, and then that created a problem. They had to take another drug for that problem, an antacid or something like that, to help with the digestion. So they may have flatulence or an upset stomach from taking one drug. They got to take another drug for that. So they went in there for one drug, and now they're on 4 drugs. And who makes the money? The medical profession, the pharmaceutical profession. So that's the problem. That's the main problem with the
problem is
medical
being
field.
solved. It's being temporary.
Treatment, short-term fixes. Now, even the statement treatment, that means you render service at your expense. So you go to the doctor, and at your expense, they will prescribe you specific things. So you're giving that over to them. That's the treatment model. The coaching model is lifestyle changing. And it's like, if you spend £30 a week buying rubbish, then why not just spend that £30 a week buying good food? Like my coach always says, Paul Check always says, it doesn't take a second longer to buy a healthy food than it does to buy an unhealthy food. The choice, the decision takes the same amount of time. So the holistic approach is so different to that, So, with the holistic stuff, the coaching model is you put the ownership on the person to take responsibility of their own health. So that taking responsibility of their own health means their lifestyle created the situation they're in. So, like we say, most of the time, the problems you have are the problems you create. So if you drink alcohol and you got liver problems, guess what? Because you drank alcohol. If you smoke 20 a day, 30 a day, whatever, you get cancer, guess what? It's because you smoked. So that's the responsibility. So,
what do you say? There are people that don't smoke and don't drink, but they're still
ill. I mean, that's just an example. But to get on to, so we're going to get on the holistic stuff in a sec, but just to summarize some of the things on the medical side, statistics. We look at statistics on the medical stuff. So, one of the things we always say, and this is again one of the problems with the medical field, one of the things we always say on this is there is no money in the cure. There is only money in the treatment. So, if you look at all those people that have, life-threatening diseases, like, as an example, like AIDS, you see the medical field. It costs, like, some people spend 30, 40, 50,000 a year on drugs to keep them living for another 4 years, but then they still die. So you're basically paying money to survive for another 4 years. That's the treatment model. And if they cured you, they wouldn't make any money, because once you're cured, you're not spending any more money on drugs. So I'm not saying the medical profession are deliberately, giving people drugs just so they can make money. What I'm saying is, it's a treatment model which is a system that makes money. Because if you cure the person, you don't see them again. Because my goal, especially with people that are ill, is to not see them again because they're cured. So, we in the holistic field, we have a saying: treat the person that has the disease, not the disease that has the person. Or as we were alluding to just now, prevention is better than cure, and you prevent through lifestyle habits. You eat well, you eat organic, clean food, you breathe properly, you think properly, and so on. And just to kind of summarize, because I only went through 2 of the foundational principles. We spoke about thoughts, and we spoke about breathing, diet, the right foods, which was, we spoke about in a previous recording when I spoke about the metabolic typing, eating the foods that your body requires, that your body wants you to eat, whether it's more protein or more carbohydrates based on the person's metabolic genetic type. So you've got food or diet. Then you've got exercise, but the right type of exercise, because too many people train poorly. So that's the fourth one. And then we're looking at resting, making sure that your body rests when you're tired. Listen to your body. The body doesn't lie. So listen to your body. Rest properly. And then the last one is drinking water. Water is the purifier. Your body is mainly water, so why not drink it? So, these are principles that, you need to adhere to, because that's what helps the prevention versus cure sort of thing. Prevention is better than cure. So, the problem with the medical field is they don't put enough emphasis on prevention. They don't put enough emphasis on getting people to understand their bodies and to take ownership of their bodies. All they do is, if there's something wrong, take a tablet. And that's the wrong thing, because